Previously on The Business.
Thanks for joining us today. The Business, brought to you by FNB Business Banking. It is Balls Visual Radio with Kriya, Gangia, Astrid Askar, and myself, Ian F. Let's go to the end of our desk over here and talk to Devon Stanton, who's joined us in studio, the PR and promotions manager for Megarom, South Africa. Devon, good morning, and welcome to Balls. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, thanks very much. It's awesome to be here.
Thanks for being in studio with us. We're talking trends for 2014. We thought it might be nice to look forward into the year and pick certain knowledgeable people's brains and see how it can help us in business and see how it can help us in daily life. We're talking tech now. First of all, Megarom, what do you do? What background do you come from?
Okay, so Megarom is a third-party distribution company. We distribute all the video games into the country, or some of the biggest, from some of the biggest publishers like Activision, Ubisoft, 2K, and Rockstar. So we provide the platform for publishers to be available to consumers in the country. So we've just recently also moved into the peripheral scene as well with our SteelSeries equipment, which is geared at your more hardcore gamers. And a lot of precision mice and audio headsets, all that sort of stuff goes into it. And we're constantly trying to up our game and make sure that everybody has access to these things. We pride ourselves on being in line with international standards of release dates and keeping the branding up there for all of our games as well.
Devon, you said videos or video games.
Video games.
Let's describe in more detail what that actually means, because it's not really that video cassette anymore.
Yeah,
is it?
I think a video game really comes back from the old term, when games were played on TV. So
the 1980s.
There you go. And there's always this confusion, especially online. It's a weird thing, and I picked it up a couple of years ago. When you say gaming, a lot of people can misconstrue that as gambling. So they go to casino gaming and that sort of stuff. So we make it video gaming so that people understand that it's a console played game or on your PC gaming.
Okay. All right.
Are you clear now?
I get it, yes.
You, like the Atari and the Commodore 64 and
yes.
You remember those?
Yes, I do actually.
So do I
remember
actually.
the racing car one?
I do. I remember
tennis.
I remember loading games from cassette. Remember
Yes,
that?
well that's why I was
Blowing
raising
into
it
the
because
cartridge.
Yeah,
Make
getting
sure
rid
it's
of all the
clean
dust.
I think what I was trying to get to is for anyone who's working in this space, they'll know. But consumers might be thinking, but I thought the video was dead. And so I think it's quite important for them to realize you're not making a mistake.
Yeah.
It's a very intentional use
No,
of a
100%.
descriptive word.
I don't know.
because
My mother always used to
how
tell me
people
off for playing
search.
video games. Video games will rot your brain.
And look at you now.
Gamification is one of the trends that has been put on the map, hasn't it?
Definitely. Gamification is an awesome thing. It's something I'm all behind as well. I wish they had it when I was in school.
It's a new it's a new name though. It's a buzzword that's come up. Gamification. If my mother's listening to the show now, she's going, "What on earth is gamification?"
Well, let's explain it. What is it?
Well, gamification is basically taking any sort of learning skill, say maths or English, and turning it into an achievable game. So you will be given, we had them very basic versions of them in school where you had the numbers dropping from the sky and you had to quickly enter how much it equaled to get a point, and then the numbers would start falling faster, and as they fell faster you'd earn more points, and then you'd be plotted onto a leaderboard to show all your friends, look, I'm better at math than you are. You're not understanding that they're actually learning while playing games. So that's the whole concept of gamification, to instill achievement into people and not just making it a boring thing to try and regurgitate what they're reading.
I have to congratulate you on a fantastic definition.
Yeah.
Best definition I've heard yet, ever.
There you go.
Thank you.
And from a business person's perspective, I go, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Surely there are opportunities there for development. And I mean, there's a whole market of South Africans waiting for that kind of thing.
Actually, just before us, we were talking about TED Talks as well. There's actually a lady who did do a talk on gamification for business and making introducing gamification into the workplace and making achievable goals for their employees. Whether it's with sales targets or going out and researching new technologies and all that sort of stuff. So introducing into the workplace is definitely something that can be done. And it's just a matter of figuring out how an adult would respond to that sort of a process and making it so it's not like it's a childish way, but something that's achievable, giving them a incentive to reach their goals and have something to carry with them that's tangible and say, this is my merit to what I've achieved in my workplace.
Do you think there are enough developers who are thinking along those lines, though, or are they all thinking in terms of, let's hope I am that new, am I the next Angry Birds? Am I the next?
I think everybody wants to be that next,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the problem with development is everybody's looking at what's currently out there. And for me, that's the biggest mistake that a lot of developers are making. They're looking and saying, oh, we can take an element of that, or we can copy that and make it better. Instead of going, let's find a problem that's existing in the world and say, okay, cool, how do we solve that problem in a fun, ingenuitive way? Let's make it entertaining for people to go ahead and solve a problem that they might be having. And that's the way developers should be looking at things. But we're already seeing a lot of gamification. A lot of schools are introducing iPads, tablets, going paperless.
Yeah.
So with the introduction of those iPads, you're automatically introducing gamification into a lot of the classrooms. So that step is happening, and it's only a matter of time, because those kids are being educated on tablets. They are being born and bred with technology in their bloodstream. So when they leave college and they get introduced to our archaic ways of working in the workplace, they're going to go, hang on, there's a better way to do this. And it's important, I think, for your bosses and CEOs to listen to what the younger guys have to say. Sometimes they're a little bit naive and they dream really big, but there's always a way to take a big dream and say, okay, cool, what is tangible, what is workable, what can we do, and slowly build something up that can make your business flourish from that idea.
What's scary for me is if I look at my almost 3-year-old son, he's never known a world without an iPhone or a Samsung S4 or an iPad, and that for him is, that's ground level. And going forward from that, he's going to expect those things in school and almost expect that in daily life as he continues. And that's something that the education system, for one, has to address in the next few years.
Yeah, there've got to be opportunities in that space. When you talk about math skills, I mean, Ian, you as a parent, you would be willing to part with some sort of application that taught your child basic fundamental math skills before he got to school even, but that presented that element of fun, and he didn't even realize you would pay for that, wouldn't you?
I'd pay good money for
There's
it.
some business opportunities. I mean, there've got to be some people in government floating around desperate for a solution to our maths and science skills.
Well, there
gap.
you go. Devon, with regard to trends for 2014, we spoke last year about Google Glass. It's a bit passé almost now. It hasn't even been released, and everyone's going, but
it's like the fad has already fallen off
before it's even started.
What's next? Then they went to contact lenses. So now what's next?
Yeah, exactly. We're looking at curved TVs from CES. We're looking at 4K TVs. We're looking at wearable tech, the Fitbit, the Samsung watches, etc. Quite honestly, I'm bored already. What's coming up this year that's going to make us all excited? What are the trends that you can look forward to when it comes to business and personal use?
Okay, well, aside from all the gadgetry and really trying to augment ourselves with the Fitbits and everything, I also have a Fitbit as well. It's not on me because the battery died. I was like, I actually feel a strange sense of relief that I don't have to keep up with.
You mean nobody's counting your steps? What?
Yeah, well, exactly.
You counted your steps over the holidays.
I totally did.
Don't laugh too loudly.
But it's those type of technology. Technology wants to be more personal with everybody, which is great. But I think everybody's almost grasping at straws now. The watches are now making a comeback, and as long as people have phones, I think the watches will have a tough time getting back into the market. That's my honest opinion on it. I think it's just something that's it's not cool enough yet. It's too big, it's too clunky, and the screen's too small to sit there tapping. I mean, I remember back in the day, I had a watch that had a calculator on it. Got taken away from me because I started using it in a maths test. But
I can't even see my phone screen. I need glasses for it.
Exactly.
I hear
So
what you're saying.
I think until holograms come in, watches are going to be pretty redundant for the time being. But when I was thinking about trends for 2014, I really took a look back and I said, you know what, 2014, I believe, is going to be the year of implementation. So we all know what cloud computing is. We've all heard of the cloud. It's this existence of the internet where people know, okay, that's where I go and put my pictures and files and all that sort of stuff. A lot of people don't realize they are working in the cloud. When you sign up with a Gmail account, for instance, you're working in the cloud. But working in the cloud is so much more than just email now. What they are slowly doing now, and Google is a big forefront runner in this sense, is they're creating applications that can be run from the cloud to your desktop through your browser. And a lot of companies are investing in this. For instance, Microsoft with their new Office 365. So Office 365, although you still get an application on your laptop or your computer, you can still stream the Office system, Word, PowerPoint, Access, all that stuff through your browser wherever you are. I'll give you a real life scenario. I was at Rage, our big show for gaming. And I had my presentation with me on a USB flash disk, and often we get sponsored our PCs. So set up the PC, get to the stage, plug in my USB. The machine doesn't have PowerPoint on it. So there's no way I can play my PowerPoint presentation. Suddenly I realize I've got an Office 365 subscription. Log into Microsoft.com, open up my account, and I say I want to run PowerPoint. Streams PowerPoint through the browser, load my presentation, ran my presentation flawlessly throughout the whole show, and it was never installed onto the machine. It's streamed straight through the browser. So it's a great way to see how our technology is evolving in that sense. Google are so confident in this future of cloud computing, they've come out with their own notebooks called Chromebooks. Now, a Chromebook is a very low-spec PC. So they're running Intel i5 processors. They have maybe 20 gigs of hard drive space on them, very low spec. And it's all because when you open your Chromebook, it opens with Chrome's own OS and your browser. So everything is run through the browser. So you then access, you sign in with your Google account. So then you have access to Google Docs. You have access to Google Spreadsheets, to their slide presentation software, and then to their whole library of third-party software that people have provided. And it's not just weak software that nobody can use. It is very powerful software where people can then collaborate with each other. It's project management software. It's point-of-sale software. So it's all the stuff that's available to everybody on a subscription base. But you're saving money if you think about it, because now your employee can be more mobile. Now they can work from home, or they can work in a coffee shop nearest to them. They don't have to go travel around to an office space to plug in, to get their emails, to get their applications running. They can do everything from wherever they are all over the world, which I think is fantastic.
So presumably one of the trends then is that you are going to see more of the businesses going to those solutions which are readily available to them. And maybe a redefinition of that term, the intranet. And do you remember the days of SharePoint? I mean, I've been in so many workshops where staff are up in arms about the SharePoint that was thrust upon them.
Yes.
This is changing all of that, isn't it?
It precisely. You know, SharePoint is probably one of the main reasons for why this is birthed. And, you know, SharePoint is a great example of a early version of cloud computing. But what I do see is that, especially for small businesses, they no longer have to worry about that sense of, I need to get an office space. They can hire their employees from their homes, and they can have boardroom meetings at a coffee stop. So what I'm thinking now is, like, as an entrepreneur, I'm thinking, well, maybe I should make a coffee shop for business. So you have meeting rooms and Wi-Fi for your guys to have meetings. But that you can take the office with you. Really, you know, with smartphones, everything is integrated to each other. So whatever you do on your laptop reflects onto your Android device or your iOS device. And it really saddens me when I see people with smartphones not utilizing them to their full potential.
Sure.
But that's probably because when it was sold to them, it wasn't explained to them what they could do with it.
There's massive,
there's a gap,
massive
isn't there?
gap in education in terms of what you're able to do with your device and how you're able to integrate it with your everyday computing type of things. So, for instance, now you saw me on my phone. I'd taken notes while I was at the office on my machine. I log onto my phone, my notes are there, nothing's changed. So it's that seamless transition of what's available to me straight away. And what's also nice about the cloud, and this is a big thing for me, is collaboration. So when you're with a team of people and you're working on an Excel spreadsheet or a project, a document, a presentation, every single person can be in that PowerPoint presentation, adding their 2 cents, defining a certain fact, researching something. They can have a conference right there and then, talking about some of the features they'd like to add, or if they want to create a page. And everybody can work on the same document, instead of everybody creating their own document, then coming back later and merging them all together, which takes a little bit longer, and then they're having a fight because they didn't discuss it previously on a slide that was in there. You know, all those sort of nitbits that can be irritating in a collaboration project.
I have to say that an obvious one which we've kind of missed is the licensing fees. If you're a big business or a medium-sized business, or even a small business, and you're obviously going to have to buy an Office disk. You have to go down to your store and buy Office. Now, if you're working in the cloud, things like Word, PowerPoint, Excel, etc., are freely available on a Google account.
I think I bought up to 5 licenses online. I mean, I never saw a disk. I don't even know.
But the point is that you bought a license, and with
Sure.
with Google Drive, for example, that license, you don't need it anymore.
To an extent.
Sure.
Google has allowed everybody to get onto their systems for free, so you can use their docs, their PowerPoint presentation and stuff, and even a certain amount of Google Drive. But once you exceed those limits, then they ask you to pay. But even then, it's a very small amount. I mean, you're looking at $5 a month for a premium account on Google. And that's another thing I've started noticing at Microsoft as well. 365 is a subscription-based model, so you pay yearly for it. So all your updates, if there's a new iteration of Office, it comes included with that subscription. And we're going to see a lot more of that happening as well.
Good.
One of the other big companies that I did see, I come up with this argument a lot with people, and a lot of them say, I don't want to leave my desktop machine for a cloud solution because I work on things like Photoshop. So Photoshop is a very heavy-duty piece of software, very powerful, and it requires a lot of processing power to run. But now Adobe is even investing into the cloud. They want to put their software into the cloud. And what happens then is you're not utilizing the power of your machine, you're utilizing the power of server-based machines. And that's what cloud computing is. Another big company like Microsoft, they originally wanted to do it with the Xbox One, and that was why the Xbox One had to be online always. So that whenever you installed a new game, then while you are playing, the processing power is happening not on just your machine, but on all the machines that are currently connected. So it's a body of machines all processing, creating better environments, creating better graphics, and more effects for everybody. I just think the biggest problem now is that people weren't ready for it. It was too much, too fast. But I think we're going to slowly see an integration into that. So more people are going to start opting for that always online aspect of things.
Devon, you're a fascinating man to listen to. I tell you something, we've both, Astrid and I and Kriya, sucked into this actually. Thank you very much for sharing some of your insights into that. So if I take anything away from this, it's the consolidation of the use of cloud computing in business and spilling over into the gaming industry, etc., etc. That's brilliant. Are you on Twitter?
I am.
Can we follow you?
Yeah, for sure. You can follow me. My tag is @Iam_Devon.
Okay, and that's with an O, yeah? Devon.
With an O, yes.
Fantastic. And of course, you can point your browser to megarom.co.za. Devon is the PR and promotions manager there as well. Thanks for your time today. It's really been a pleasure, and I wish you all the best for all your trends that you've spoken about in 2014. And good success going forward. Thank you.
Great,
Thanks, Devon.
Thank you.
The Business on balls.co.za. Brought to you by FNB Business Banking.